Hey, this is Dave from metalepidemic.com. Thank you for checking out our YouTube video. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button below if you like this type of content, and we hope you enjoy the review. What is up, guys? Dave here from Metal Epidemic, joined by my man Kyle, and back for another album review. For this review, Duncan's not here, sorry. Kyle and I have been checking out the new album from Swiss noise bringers Kehlvin. The band's new album, Holistic Dreams, will be released on September 24th via Division Records. These guys formed as a five-piece in 1999 and have put out 2 albums and 1 EP to date. They've shared the stage with bands like Burst, Willhaven, Mono, Unsane, Celeste, Lightning Bolt, to name a few. But after a 6-year hiatus, Kehlvin are back with album number 3. Holistic Dreams features 7 brand new songs and has a runtime of 34 minutes and promises to show a more mature band that have lost none of their verve or powerful personality. So, another kind of completely new band to me.
I've never heard of them before. Ever.
But when they dropped a single not long ago called The Impossibility of Progress, which is the first kind of track on the album, I was kind of instantly interested in what was going on. These guys have a very kind of sludgy, kind of almost kind of Mastodon type feel to their sound, but it's kind of coated in something a little bit more abrasive, kind of reminding bands like Neurosis or like Old Man Gloom. That kind of came to mind. A kind of mix of sludge, kind of metallic hardcore, and a bit of kind of post-metal all kind of rolled into one. But not only does this have kind of a really interesting kind of corrosive texture to it musically, it's coupled with like a vocal attack that switches between, again, a kind of Mastodon-esque kind of tonal kind of roar to a kind of gravelly scream that's more in line with bands like Knut or maybe Ken Mode. And I think like as an opening track, it really kind of sets the scene for this album. It's really fucking heavy, but at the same time, it had a bit of a vocal hook to it that, you know, kind of made it memorable. And I love the way that track kind of bled out with some like atmospheric kind of lead work, almost kind of uplifting in a way, with a kind of picked clean guitar chords going through the kind of background. But when that second track kicks in, by God, it hits you like a ton of bricks, basically. And I don't know if that's partly down to that kind of melodic outro of the opening track, and also down to the kind of chords that they use at the start of track 2, the Walking Clay it's called. It's just discordant as hell, like an absolutely kind of really kind of bitchin' groove it kicks in with on track 2. And as that kind of second track rolled on, it kind of really hit me how strong an opening this was to Holistic Dreams. They were like 2 for 2 at this point. The second track, The Walking Clay, it wasn't quite as like hook laden vocally as the opener, but it's got that like thick, murky kind of heaviness to it in spades. So I really didn't mind that they didn't kind of load that second track with a lot of melody. And throughout the album, they kind of continue to kind of impress by weaving in moments that are slightly doomier, or even kind of giving you kind of more kind of off-kilter rhythms on tracks like Causation Failure. There's even a kind of eccentric vocal style on Electric Monks that kind of reminded me of like a kind of Mike Patton type style to it. It's got a kind of odd kind of vocal style, but they kind of bolster that with another kind of really cool chorus, which balances the track out, I suppose. My favourite track though had to be Gently Thinking, which is track number 5. I thought this track had really unique riffs on it, really cool chord progressions as well, and it just kind of builds layer by layer until that kind of middle chunk of the track just like obliterates everything in its path. It's unbelievably heavy, and again it works so well because they have that kind of melodic build up prior to it. And it also finishes with, in my opinion, probably the best kind of chorus of the album. I don't even know if I call it a chorus because it kind of only happens once at the end, but it's massively infectious, really kind of grand sounding as well. But I think I kind of loved it because I didn't really see it coming, because it came so late in the track. I wasn't expecting something so kind of infectious coming. The last two tracks, though, this was the kind of most interesting part for me. When that last track kicks in, it references the track before by kicking off with the same chorus. Now, I only noticed this because I had my media player open when I was listening to the album, so I could see that it had moved to the last track. But if I hadn't noticed that, I probably would have thought I was still on the track before. But then when I looked at the track title of the last track is called Flash Backward, so it kind of does suggest that they are referencing that kind of previous track, Dirk My Boy it's called. So I thought it was quite clever. And the chorus, it doesn't repeat like throughout that last track, so it's not like they just kind of got lazy and used the same hook right through two songs. Flash Backward does go on a bit of a journey through different textures, lots of different dynamics. Remind me a bit of a band called Amenra, or even a little bit of Bosk in there as well. The way they kind of take you on that kind of journey of big kind of sprawling clean sections that usually leads into something quite dense and crushing sounding. Overall, though, I had a pretty good time with this album. I don't think every song on it's perfect. I think I could definitely pick out where this track really kind of shines, and where it maybe needs just a little bit more refinement. I personally loved the two tracks that opened the album and the two that closed it. Those were my kind of main highlights. But I kind of feel like this, even though they've been on the go for so long, I kind of feel like this is this band maybe just starting to hit their stride. So I have a feeling we're probably going to get something even bigger on the next one, because you can hear the band growing in between albums. Like when you hear this album, you realise how big of a step they've taken since 2015, their last album. It sounds huge. So I kind of completely expect them to come back with another really strong album in 2 or 3 years' time, probably even stronger than this one. And this is great. I really enjoyed this one. What about yourself? What did you make of these guys?
Oh, I've never heard of them, but I really, really enjoyed this all the way through. I agree that there's like some songs are better than others, but I mean, it's true of most albums. Yeah. But no, I thought this band had a ton of personality. Yeah. Like, they're definitely them. I mean, they've got all these influences that you mentioned, and they're all rolled into one, but they've made it their own. Yeah. As if you hear this, you're like, that's Kehlvin with an H. Yeah. And like, they've got interesting song titles and good song structures. They've got excellent use of like disharmony, or all this stuff that really do build stuff up and layer things really well. And I like that they're just not afraid to just do what they do. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic, and the production's nice and natural. I mean, maybe there's something I haven't heard, but to be honest with you, it wasn't distracting if there is anything there, and I really, really enjoyed listening to it all the way through from beginning to end. Yeah. I think Gently Thinking, that is definitely an album high point. I quite enjoyed Electric Monks, maybe just for the song title, but that's great. Yeah. The blend, but the thing is with this one, it's like you can sit there and talk about the bass tone's great and the guitar tone's great and all this, but when they get all together and they play all the same thing, and the blend of all the tones comes together, it just, all of it in one sounds fucking incredible, and I really like that. Yeah. The guitar tone complements the bass tone, and the vocal tone, it all complements each other in such a great way, and I really like that. It's not something you hear that often with bands. It's just like the bassist wants to sound like this, so he sounds like that, and the guitars sound whatever. Yeah. But they've managed to craft this in such a great way. And also, there's a few parts in this album where the vocalist is doing his thing, he's screaming or singing or whatever, and it actually takes a back seat to the riff. In the mix, so like they drop it down a bit and it's a bit more spacey and all that, and I really love that. Yeah, they're really not afraid to experiment with stuff instead of having the vocals up front and center all the time. They absolutely, and it works so well because you don't need to hear exactly what he's saying. He's just yelling about something, I guess, but it works so well, and I loved it. It was just, that was such a good idea. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely I really hope they come up with something in the next couple of years, because I'm sure, like you said, it's going to be huge. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay, so ratings for this one. I think the majority of this lands about probably a 4 out of 5 for me. But there were moments where I thought it did venture into like 4.5 territory. I don't know. I think it still needs some more of those moments, and then it would be like an easy 4.5 for me. But I think at the moment I'm probably going to stick with a 4 out of 5. What about yourself? I think I'm going to go 0.5 higher because I loved this. It was really good. I love a band that has their own personality, and you can just sort of hear like, this is them, and that's it. So there's no mistaking for who these guys are. Of course, you can pick out some influences, but you can with every band these days. But especially in 2021, when there's a million metal bands out there, and a lot of them sound the same, and this band do not. So I'm going with 4.5 out of 5, and I really hope they come up with something new very, very soon.
Yeah, they've 100% got the potential. There is moments of real greatness on this album. Really clever ideas. So I expect to hear another album. Hopefully, if they want to do it sooner than that, that'd be great. But I definitely hear them progressing. So I expect them to level up again in the next release. This one that drops on the 24th of September on Division Records. If you want to check out the band, I'll put a link to their Facebook and to their Bandcamp in the description below so you can check out the album. Let us know what you think once you've heard it. Happy to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. That's the review. Thanks for checking it out. Much appreciated. We'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, take care. Speak to you soon.
See you later.